Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are running through episode 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 16's power rankings. Who are the true contenders for the crown? We have 7 queens left. Let's get started. If this is the first time you're showing up on one of my videos, that's fine. We're happy to have you. But this is the logic that I use to rank my power rankings. Number 1, the track record, who's placing high, who's placing low, who's in the middle, all that jazz. The confessionals, how often are we seeing this queen on our screen? And then finally, just the vibes. What is the vibe of the queen? Are we receiving some good content about them? Are we getting personal content? Are we getting bad content? Are they somebody that the fans will get behind if they win Drag Race Season 16? So, without further ado, let's get started. This episode, we had the political challenge, which we wait for every 4 years. Usually it's an amazing challenge, but this year, God, what a dud. What a horrible episode of Drag Race. This was probably one of my least favorite episodes of Drag Race, and I've been watching since the beginning, so that should really tell you something. We only had 2 queens really do a great job in this performance, but tell me, why did we need 3 performance challenges within a certain season? We had our girl groups challenge, we have this challenge, we're for sure gonna get the top 4 performance challenge like we do every single year to some sort of Ru mix or whatever it is. So they really are kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel this season when it comes to challenges. And to waste the political challenge on one of the worst songs in Drag Race history, that's just another thing. But I won't rant anymore. I don't think that this was a great episode. I do want to call back, though, to a more amazing time of Drag Race when we had the amazing political challenges like the drag debate on Season 4. We also had the drag infomercials or political infomercials, attack ads in Season 8, which was a lot of fun. And then probably one of my favorite challenges or favorite episodes in all of Drag Race Season 12's debate, which was amazing, had some amazing standout moments, and had a killer lip sync at the end. This episode had none of that. And that's okay. I guess not every challenge can be amazing. It's just a shame that it was on such an iconic challenge, like the political challenge. I went ahead and ranked the queens. Since this was a non-elimination episode, I decided who I thought were the tops and the bottoms. I really liked Morphine in this challenge. I think she could have been the winner, but looking at the lyrics for hers versus Saphira's, I had to give the win to Saphira just because she had the more voting specific lyrics, while Morphine's was kind of a bitch track plus a little tiny bit about voting. But overall, I think most of the verses were not great, not super interesting. I think Saphira had the best clearly, and then maybe Q had the second best, but she also had the worst performance along with Plain Jane. So if I had to put these queens in any sort of rating or putting tops and bottoms, this is what I would have done. But at the end of the day, we had Saphira winning, we had Morphine high, and then everyone else was safe, and that's what I gave them for my track records. Starting off the power rankings, I have Maya Iman LePage at number 7. She has the lowest track record, she has the lowest number of confessionals, so it's pretty clearly that she is probably the bottom amongst all of the queens. I do want to call out her lyrics, though, on this most recent episode. I think that they were really fun because she used the line, "Living in a country where our rights should be equal. Just because I'm gay doesn't make me less equal." I don't know if there's any literary fans out there, but it reminded me of an Animal Farm when they had that one commandment that said all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. So shout out to Maya for her literary references, whether it was intended or not. Super smart, super great. Great work, Maya. I stan you, as always. But when it comes to power rankings, she's still number 7, regardless of how amazing and thought-provoking her lyrics were. At number 6, I have Dawn. Dawn is one of the only queens this season that doesn't have a win along with Morphine, but Morphine did get that almost win placement, so that's why I put her above Dawn at this point. She has been the queen of the safe place. She has been safe now for 7 episodes, plus being high twice for 2 of the design challenges. But she is getting a decent amount of content when it comes to confessionals. We really just don't know, or aren't really seeing Dawn start to excel at anything. We know that she can do great at design, we know she's kind of fun, but other than that, she's not giving the winner energy. And I don't see Dawn winning unless maybe she goes on a crazy run at the end of the season. We'll see. In the preview, it sounded like she was doing okay for next week's episode, but time will tell. For now, we have Dawn at number 6. Morphine is in at number 5. She goes up 1 position this week. And with Morphine, she really was on a downward trajectory recently. She had been safe for pretty much the entire competition, then she went low, then was in the bottom, then she was low again. But this week, she was very, very close to winning. So she's kind of jumping around at this point. She could rebound going forward. And at the end of the day, she is the narrator of the season. She is the confessional queen. She has had the most for 3 straight episodes, or 3 episodes overall, plus being in the high placement when it comes to confessionals, the second most for the additional weeks. So we are always getting what Morphine has to say, and that's always a great thing for us to know. And we always hear about how amazing her makeup is, which is true. If there's anything that can make a queen stand out, it's just when they look amazing, no matter what time they're on the runway. Tell that to Valentina. She looks amazing. And that's true for Morphine too. So that's why I've got Morphine in at number 5. At number 4, I have Q. And Q is somebody who is doing really amazing in the competition. Besides her 1 bottom placement, she has been consistently great. I probably would have put her in the bottom this most recent episode, but I'm not judging. So that's why she has the number 1 track record amongst all queens, tied with both Plain Jane and Saphira at this point. I think that Q is doing amazing, but the fans just are not gelling with Q. They are kind of getting tired of her attitude. They don't really like the way that she has been sort of favored in some episodes, this one being an example of that kind of favoritism. But you can't deny she's doing great on most of the challenges, and I don't know why people think that she is not a great queen and not a viable option to win the season. But for now, because of the fan reception, I have Q at number 4, below some of the other queens that I think the fans would be much happier with crowning. Number 3, we have Plain Jane, who, like Michelle said, and I agree with Michelle, had her first sort of stumble in the competition. She was the worst in the challenge. She was the only one that really flubbed her choreo this episode, and her lyrics were kind of meh. I wouldn't say she looked nervous. I just feel like she just wasn't all the way there in this most recent episode. She wasn't her normal self where she's in it, she's killing the competition, she knows what she has to do. This most recent episode, she was kind of only giving about like 75%, and that, compared to all the other queens who were really going for it, knocked her down a peg. I do think she's getting sort of a redemption arc. We're not hearing as much about her being shady in the most recent episodes, kind of burying that from her previous episodes and her previous way that she was known amongst the fans. She has an outside chance of getting the crown because of how well she's done and how well people seem to like her despite her being a villain. But again, Drag Race has not crowned a villain since Tyra Sanchez, so that's why I have Plain Jane at number 3. At number 2, we have Nymphia Wind. Nymphia has a lower track record and a lower number of confessionals than Q, Plain, and our number 1 queen, but I still put her in at number 2 because she just has good vibes around her. The fans love her, they think she's lots of fun, she does well in almost every challenge, and even this episode where she was saved with an immunity potion, she didn't really need to. The judges even said she performed better than Plain Jane, so she wouldn't have been in the bottom anyway. I do want to call out her awful lyrics, and I mean they're so awful that they're actually turning into good because they're so funny, but look at these lyrics. Aspire to community, Nymphia for equality, do not ban my beauty. Like, these have hardly anything to do with voting. I get what she's going for, but it's just hilarious that these couple of lines are what she got out when we had someone like Saphira rattling off an empowering message, and this is what Nymphia gave us. But honestly, amazing. She performed it amazing, and we all bought it, and who can blame us, right? So Nymphia's at number 2. She deserves this placement. And let's move on to number 1. And of course, number 1 is going to be Saphira. Saphira got her second win of the season, and she's kind of set up to go the home stretch in this competition because she has been doing amazing across the entire competition. I love Saphira. She is from Philadelphia, that's where I live, and I hope that she goes all the way. Maybe I'm a little bit biased here, but the facts speak for themselves. Even though she has lower confessionals than someone like Plain Jane or someone like Q, she has never stumbled in the competition like those two have. She has never had a bad showing, and she always looks great, and really, the fans love her. I think she is the true front runner right now. The distance between her and Nymphia is growing, and we'll see if it keeps going. At this point, Saphira is the one to beat. So tell me, what do you think? Was this challenge as awful as I said it was? And does Saphira deserve to be number one? Do you think Nymphia is number one? Do you think Plain Jane is number one? Do you think Maya is number one? Because I certainly wish that you do. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening. Catch up next week on Wild Spear.